Leaders from Ukraine and the United States say they've made important progress during talks aimed at ending the war with Russia. The US President Donald Trump hinted at a breakthrough on social media, claiming, and these are his words, something good may be happening. Cyan Valance is following the story in London. Now, Cyan, I don't know how much stock we should put in Donald Trump's words here. He often likes to talk up a deal, but where does it seem we are at with this peace plan?
Well, James, this is very much a work in progress. When that deal was released on Friday, it was a 28-point plan, which caused a lot of stress and panic in Kyiv and amongst Ukraine's allies because it was seen as heavily weighted towards Russia. It was demanding sort of situations like handing over large amounts of territory from Ukraine to Russia, halving Ukraine's army. So what's followed is days of diplomacy, and one of the most important meetings has been between US and Ukrainian officials with some European representatives in Switzerland. They started quite coldly, but they ended warmly, with both sides saying that there's been significant progress. Now, the Kremlin isn't so happy. It doesn't like what it's calling the European counterproposal, saying it's not constructive and it doesn't work for Moscow. So we still don't know exactly what is in this plan. We understand it has been a little bit revised, but we do know that some of the most contentious issues, such as those territory concessions, have been put off for discussion between the two leaders, Vladimir Putin of Russia and Volodymyr Zelenskyy of Ukraine. Now, Volodymyr Zelenskyy has said the main problem that is standing in the way of peace is Moscow's demand for Ukraine's territory. Take a listen to what he had to say a little earlier about the peace talks.
Of course, we all continue working with partners, especially the United States, and look for compromises that strengthen but not weaken us. And we will continue explaining how dangerous it is to pretend that aggression is something one can simply overlook and move on.
That is the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy speaking there earlier. Now, Donald Trump wanted this all run and done by Thanksgiving, which is Thursday. It doesn't seem like that deadline is going to be hit, does it, Cyan?
It doesn't, James, and a lot of Donald Trump's deadlines seem to be quite fluid. This one is no different. It has still, however, set off a sense of urgency here in Europe, and leaders in the Coalition of the Willing, which is 33 of Ukraine's allies, including Australia, are planning a virtual meeting tomorrow where they're going to discuss the peace plan and how they can help. But there is also a sense of urgency because people are dying. In Russia's latest drone strike overnight, 4 people died in the Kharkiv region in Ukraine's east, and 13 people were injured, including children, according to authorities. And so for those Ukrainians in the firing line, peace can't come fast enough. But politicians and analysts are saying it is highly unlikely that a peace deal will be done this week, James.